Maturity is a mindset, not age. Psychology says, truth is never as painful as discovering a lie. Psychology says, silence is often better than explaining. Psychology says, smart people will always prioritize their privacy and self-care. Psychology says, people start hating you when they cannot control you. Psychology says, be teachable. You're not always right. Psychology says, keep it private until it's permanent. Psychology says, you learn a lot by being silent. Silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. The smarter you get, the more you appreciate silence. Your mind is enough of a stimulation. If you're talking, how can you listen? If you can't listen, how can you learn? Endurance teach you a lot. You learn a lot when you endure. Psychology says, you should be private. Never tell people more than they need to know. Psychology says, the less you care, the happier you will be. Exactly. Care is essential. But over-caring often leads to anxiety, which is improper brick to be laid into foundation of happiness. Psychology says, lack of communication can kill a great relationship. Psychology says, silence is often better than explaining. Psychology says, don't judge a situation you've never been in. Psychology says, don't overshare. Privacy is power. Psychology says, when maturity hits you, silence is better than arguing. Psychology says, always learn how to be strong alone. Psychology says, know your worth, even if it gets lonely. Who gossips to you will gossip about you. Psychology says, one of the greatest skills you can learn is how to be alone. Psychology says, if you feel comfortable alone, you're a powerful individual. Psychology says, you become unstoppable when you realize that you can do it alone. Psychology says, become a ghost. Forget attention. Just grow. In private, psychology says, trust your intuition. It never lies. Psychology says, nobody notices your pain, but everyone notices your mistakes. Psychology says, don't waste your time with explanations. People only hear what they want to hear. Psychology says, when maturity hits you, silence is better than arguing. Psychology says, it's more peaceful when everything is private. Psychology says, sometimes you have to stay busy so you don't have time to feel. Psychology says, no matter how good a person you are evil in someone's story. Psychology says, train yourself to stop waiting for the right time. Psychology says, one of the best lessons you can learn is to master how to remain calm. Psychology says, expecting nothing from other people is self-care. Psychology says, starve your distractions. Feed your focus. Know your worth, even if it gets lonely. Psychology says, always learn how to be strong alone. Psychology says, be teachable. You're not always right. Psychology says, restart, reset, readjust as many times as you need to. Psychology says, growth is a never-ending process. Psychology says, don't react. Cut them off, silently. Psychology says, train your mind to be calm, in every situation. Learning to be calm, when you're disrespected, is power. Psychology says, don't suppress your feelings and emotions. Psychology says, are happier when you do things from love, not for love. Psychology says, avoiding people who lower your vibe is self-care. Psychology says, your mental health is more important than their feelings. Psychology says, the most important decision you make is to be in a good mood. Psychology says, protecting yourself from your own toxic thoughts is real self-care. Psychology says, delete everything in your mind that is not moving you forward. Psychology says, limiting people's access to you is self-care. 3 things to always keep private: your love life, your income, your next move. A private life is a happy life. People cannot ruin what they do not know. Psychology says, toxic people always make you think you're the toxic one.